see, like I said, you need that. You need a dick. I know that's going to be taken out of context. I already mentally, as soon as I said, well, I guess I know what the cold open is for this episode. Jesus Christ, man. I keep doing this to myself. The woman who wrote A Wrinkle in Time was a genius. I would say her name, but she has a French name, and look at me. Do I look like I can pronounce a French name? Come on, come on. Yeah. But I remember being as a kid, I read, there was actually a sequel. She wrote a sequel to that novel, which the sequel sucked ass. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it did. Even though she was a genius, the sequel sucked ass. I get what she was trying to do. World peace, you know. In the sequel, there was going to be like a nuclear war, and she used magic, and it just, I had my own Cold War fears, and it just didn't resonate with me. Because it's like, yeah, in this book, you wave your magic wand, and there's not going to be a nuclear war, but in real life, I was still worried about it on a daily basis. Because back when I was a kid, the Cold War was happening, and they could nuke us at any point. So it didn't really resonate with me. But the original, The Wrinkle in Time, was a brilliant fucking novel. So fucking good. And before she died, they did a made-for-TV version of her novel. Now, she was dead by the time Hollywood did it with Oprah Winfrey. I actually enjoyed that movie, but it's been 2 decades since I've read the novel, so maybe it was heresy. I don't know. Like the movie didn't do too well. But I enjoyed it. But she was dead by the time that came out. But before she died, when she was like 85 years old, they brought out a made-for-TV version. And she watched it. Newsweek actually called her up, and they did a little interview with her talking about it. They said, so you watched the movie, huh? She said, yep, I saw it. And they said, did it meet your expectations? She said, yes, it did. It was just as bad as I expected it to be. I said that to say this. I think a lot of the times that we don't like something, entertainment-wise, it's because we had a preset expectation coming in. I'm not saying it was, she thought it was bad because she expected me. She wrote the fucking novel. She's never going to like the adaptation, especially on a made-for-TV budget back in the 90s. That was like, the made-for-TV version of the novel, Stephen King novel, It. They just had a TV budget. It had its charm, no pun intended. John Ritter doing drama is always a good thing. Like, I think that dude is a genius at drama. I wish he had done more. But the miniseries had its charm. Tim Curry, of course, is a fucking another genius. So the casting was really good. They also had that dude from fucking Night Court, I think, playing, Eddie, the Fast Eddie. But the budget just did not do the work justice. There are certain novels, you have to have a budget. You have to have special effects. You have to be far enough into the future that filmmaking can rise to the level of the material. Citizen Kane can be done on a fucking shoestring budget in the 50s. It doesn't require the imagination, the depth of special effects to pull it off. Casablanca didn't require special effects. They showed a fucking prop. I bet there wasn't even a fucking plane there, man. They just showed this thing going around and shit. That could have been anything, They could have brought a tractor engine in here. And, it didn't require special effects to be a good movie. Wrinkle in Time and Stephen King's It required the special effects to be at a certain level before it could be any good. So as charming as the cast were, and they were, you needed the movie that came out a couple years ago to have the special effects to really pull that shit off. Same with this. But, so my point, though, is it's the expectations you bring into a certain work. Now, that's what threw me off with my Sopranos reactions. I wish I could start again. I wish I could talk to myself before I ever started The Sopranos and tell myself, this is not about mobsters. It pretends to be about mobsters, but it's not about mobsters. I say that because I think I've identified Mad Men pretends to be about the 60s. We've just gotten into the 60s. With all that entails. The level of technology they had back then, especially the gender roles. Like, they're doing a lot with the gender roles, right? But it's not about the gender roles. What this show is about is identity. And that transcends time and space. You can do a show about identity in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, I guess they call them the aughts, and in current time. That never changes. The cavemen were worried about their identity. Man, do I really want to be a hunter? Maybe I want to be a gatherer, Like, It's always been about identity. And I think the clue here is both times the subject of Don Draper's contract has come up. He has talked about he wants no contract. He wants to be able to leave. He wants to be able to walk out the door and leave advertising at a moment's notice anytime he wants without any contractual obligation. Now, he can't go to a competitor, do advertising over there, but he can leave the field of advertising. This isn't what he thinks he is. And I think the journey of this series, one of the journeys of this series, is going to be him finding out what he actually wants to do with his life. Because I feel like, maybe we'll get the backstory of the season, maybe we won't. I thought we'd get maybe a flashback or some kind of suggestion in the first episode of the season. We didn't. But he kind of stumbled into this field. It wasn't something that his father was an advertiser, so now he wants to be an advertiser. That's a calling. This isn't a calling to him. He's good at it. He was born to do this shit. He's really good at it. But I think he can be good at a lot of things because what he's really good at is closing the deal. He's good at closing the deal. And there's a lot of different businesses where it's required that somebody close the deal. You can get to the 5-yard line, but you need somebody to punch it in, right? You need somebody to close that deal. That's what he's good at. But it's not just him. I don't think Peter knows what he wants to do. I don't think Betty knows what she wants to do. And we've got Peggy. Peggy does know what she wants to do. This is what she wants. She's the only character on this show. I think there's like 4 main characters in the show. If we go by screen time, other people get screen time. Joan gets screen time. But if we go by screen time average, the people, if I was to go back and run the numbers, the people who got the most screen time in season 1, Don, Peter, Betty, and Peggy. And if we were to rank it by amount of screen time, it'd be Don and Peggy, 1 and 2. Peter's number 3, and Betty's number 4. But Betty can take over a whole fucking episode, and Peter can barely be in one. So, I think those two kind of switch places. But those are the 4. Of those 4, Peggy's the only one who knows what she wants, and she's got all these roadblocks in her way to get what she wants. Don can really be whatever the fuck he wants. He's a guy. He's still fairly young. He's only 36. He's handsome. People respect him. He could go into another field if he wanted to. He could go into the automotive industry or some shit. He could get what he wanted. It may be a little bit difficult. He may have to learn the ropes, but he could fucking get what he wanted. Peter has a few family contacts on both sides of his family now. His side and his wife's side. He can do a couple things. He doesn't have as many options as Don. Betty has the fewest number of options. So Peggy knows what she wants, and she just has these roadblocks getting there. Peter doesn't know what the fuck he wants. He might be in the lobby with a shotgun at any moment, right? Betty doesn't know what the hell she wants. And Don doesn't know what the hell he wants. So it's about identity. That's what I'm saying. My expectation now is about identity. Now, my expectation could be wrong. Some future version of me could come back wearing that hat talking about, hey, man, dumbass. This show was about change. Which is kind of, it could also be about change. But I think it's about identity. So the future version of me could just eat my ass. Because it's whatever I think in the moment that matters. Let's go into this. This shit's getting too long. This is going to be hilarious. That's something somebody who just took a hit of cocaine would ask. How the hell would you not know your nose is running? Don't you have hair fibers? What's happening? I just can't not see her as her character in Community. That really changes this show for me,
What did you do with your coats? We left them in the car.
Oh, dumbass.
I can smell alcohol, but I don't see it.
Hey,
It's him.
story of my life. It's like, oh, the alcohol is on me. That's why I smell it.
So you work for these stuff shirts?
I work with them. Peggy, bless you.
Yeah, see that? I don't work for them. I work with them.
It's always.
Yeah. Air kiss. Get that stinking pipe out of my face, bitch.
Not enough.
This isn't Greenwich Village. This is America.
How do you get to the city?
Number 33 bus takes you right to Port Authority.
Oh, shit. So anyway, anal?
You're a button, you know that?
I can't feel my cheeks.
Oh, shit.
I
She
can.
must have had that fucking vodka.
Feel them fine.
That's what that'll do to you.
That's when you can't feel your cheeks. It's time to stop.
For me, I can't feel my cheeks. It's time for another drink.
That
Of course,
works.
I'm not with the douchebags, so,
How could I forget? Big, handsome.
What's that ascot around his neck? This one.
Because I have the Roman Gallagher.
He's like Riker. His beard gives him character.
And they washed up on shore 2 years ago. And they sold 180 bottles and I have one.
I wonder if that's true. That sounds like a great story.
Joan is our senior secretary.
Office manager.
You call me a senior secretary again, I'm going to stab you in the eye with a fork.
What? Man upstairs is here. God? He wants to talk to you.
Your party's too loud.
Smells marijuana.
Oh, no, not that. Not marijuana. It begs the question, how do you know what marijuana smells like, motherfucker?
Well, it's good to see you and Paul together. I have to say, when Paul and I were together, the
Oh,
last thing I
shit.
would have taken him for was open
What a cutthroat bitch. What a cutthroat and racist bitch, by the way.
You stole that. That's from the office.
Oh, shit.
That dumb girl almost got fired.
But she didn't. I'm a writer.
We're finding a lot about this motherfucker. Yeah, why don't you just fuck right in the hallway? Damn.
Hey, Brooke.
I didn't even realize it's her. I was just casting regular shade. Now I'm going to elevate my shade. The fuck you doing? You're trying to go places, man.
I'm a good kisser. And you know you want
You know, I said she knows what she wants. She knows what she wants professionally.
I mean,
No fucking clue what she wants, socially, I guess we'd say. Yeah, you're dismissed, bitch. Nice try. The whole coat motif is hilarious, by the way. Should have left it in the car, dumbass. Been there and done that. Answer the fucking phone. Dad used to hate it when shows would do this. Just leave the phone ringing for no fucking reason. I mean, there's always a reason. The filmmaker's making a point, but a phone ringing and a baby crying are the two most annoying noises in the entire fucking world. And TV shows love to let that shit linger, man. Love it. They love it more than they love anything in this world. Let that shit linger. Just let it keep going and going and going. Knock on the door doesn't bother me if they do that with knock on the door too. I don't mind the knock on the door. But the phone ringing and the baby crying, holy shit. They love this
Fifth
elevator
Avenue's
set,
a
don't
parking
they?
lot in both directions.
Colonel Glenn.
Canyon to
Incredible
heroes, I
what
suppose.
passes for heroism these days. I think he's a winner. Square jaw, false modesty. Looks like he just took off his Letterman jacket.
Damn, the motherfuckers be hating. What's all this then? Damn,
I
somebody
just
died.
fire everyone.
That's right, motherfucker. Just fire them all.
Excuse me.
Answer the fucking phone! Yeah, you're fired.
Excuse me. This is a place of business. Plane went down. American Airlines Flight 1 to Los Angeles.
Oh, shit.
Jamaica
That's
Bay.
what you get, motherfucker.
there could be
Still a
100
place of
people on
business.
there. Just fell out of the sky.
Check Twitter later. Get back to fucking work. Fuck the news. Yeah, everybody's looking wrecked, by the way. Especially her. Hey, did my pictures leak online? What the fuck, man?
Turn it off.
That's right, you obey him. Nobody gives a shit about Roger.
But it wasn't a Mohawk plane. We don't want people opening their morning paper and seeing a Mohawk ad next to a picture of a floating engine.
You goddamn right. He's smart.
The rest of you stop crying and figure out how we're going to hit the ground running in 3 weeks with new work.
Respect.
Probably avoid the term hit the ground.
Well, technically it went into the ocean. Never mind. Dicks.
Answer the phone, sweetheart.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
Some of the passengers were on their way to a golf tournament.
You're saying this while she's on the phone? That could be the president, you fucking asshole.
Although, I like those little girls they have. You know, they're completely captive.
Damn, dude. Does this motherfucker ever think about anything but pussy? I know I'm the one to talk, but goddamn, man.
Someone should tell Draper to pull everything from Mohawk.
He
You
knows
already
that.
did, motherfucker.
Shell was a client when I was at Y&R in London. We had some times together.
This motherfucker gets shit done.
It's complete chaos over there.
He's got the backdoor channels. And I don't mean in a good way, but in a business good way.
The thing just nosedived, exploded.
That's not comforting.
Shell says you're going to need to make a fresh start.
Did he say fresh start?
A few times.
They're thinking.
That is an interesting point.
You goddamn right, man. Fuck yeah. They're not afraid to poach off a disaster. To shred, you
Yes.
say.
Yes.
To shred, you say.
I can't talk right now.
Someone he knew was on the plane, so he ain't got no jokes now, does he, motherfucker? That's what it takes to have him give a shit about something. That personal connection, that's most of us, you know. If we're personally attached to something, then all of a sudden it ain't a joke anymore.
Mr. Campbell, are you all right?
Hell no. Is he ever?
Mr. Campbell?
Cuss him out. The fuck you doing just walking in here, bitch?
I'm sorry. Am I bothering you?
Yes, motherfucker.
What's going on?
Apparently my father was on that plane.
Holy shit. He's gonna be rich now.
My father, he was on the plane.
This is the guy you come to. That's very interesting. I really thought you didn't like him. This is the one person in the office you come to. Of course, he's gonna throw that money in his face.
I don't know what to do.
First of all, let's
just
close
saw
this
him.
fucking door, man. Well, his father was a dick, so I ain't gonna cry any tears over this motherfucker. Yeah, absolutely. That's the idea. Right. So like I said, Don Draper always has a
What's one
solution,
do?
doesn't he? You have this drink, motherfucker. That's what you do.
What people do. Go home.
I couldn't go home. Well,
I don't even...
I work at home, but you know what I'm saying. I had to keep working when Dad died. I was a fucking mess.
Am I going to cry?
All he cares about is what people think.
Go home and be with your family.
Why?
Well, do you give a shit about
Because
your
that's what
mother?
people do.
You need to go to
So
your
what you
mother's
would do?
house. Have your drink and go see your mother, motherfucker.
Yes.
Which family? He's such a douchebag. See, the difference is I loved my father. I really don't believe. He is some way more conflicted with his father. Hug it out, motherfucker, and get the hell out.
There's life and there's work.
I'm fascinated that he came to Don, man. That just blows my mind. Clearly he respects Don. I didn't really see that coming.
Asked Jamaica Bay.
How about American pioneering vertical
Knock
flight?
this motherfucker out.
Mr. Draper, Mr. Cooper would like to see you.
Might as well carry your drink in there. This is going to be rough.
He says I can weather it out. I always get the feeling that man opens his front door and money comes in.
Always clean me out. Best poker player in the South Pacific.
Duck, tell Don here about your phone
Yeah,
call.
Duck.
Well,
I prefer Phyllis, but whatever.
They'll be looking for a new image and thus a new agency.
Hell yeah, you got to, man. It's PR.
We already have an airline. We don't have American. Well, that's right. We have the one whose planes didn't just fall out of the sky.
Good point.
I'm sorry. Is there an issue? $1 million? $7 million?
Yeah.
Am I missing something? Did you sign American during this phone call?
No, but Shell made it very clear that if we get rid of our conflict, he'd love to hear our ideas. It's a serious foothold.
Oh, a foothold.
Holy
I'd do
shit.
anything for a
I know how you had it in your head. The president of American Airlines sees a Mohawk ad, falls in love, and says, "Get me that guy."
It's not
Well,
about his
I'm
ego,
sorry
asshole.
it didn't play out that way.
Easy.
He's about to tear his head off. Roger knows him. Well, this is awkward.
You'll be fine.
Now he's going to go talk to him. I had to pause this shit. And as I pause it, you know, the camera's coming over. Just give me just a glimpse of what I assume is Peter's mother. It looks like the house, you know. I cannot fucking remember her in the conversation. I only remember her father, you know, his father, you know. I know his mother was there because I remember her like this. I can see her mouth move, but I can't remember a single fucking word she said. So it must not have been anything truly awful. She was probably the peacemaker. The father was the dickhead in that conversation, right? And this is me taking Peter's side for once, right? You know, so I don't know how he feels. And again, you know, he clearly loved his father, but he had major issues with his father. So that's what I was talking about before. But back to this. You're going to get rid of $1 million client for the chance of landing a $7 million client. There's no fucking way, man. Now, if I could sign a contract with the $7 million client, and one of the stipulations of the contract is, while we're signing this contract, we have 3 days or, you know, probably 30 days to get rid of the conflict. And then if we get rid of the conflict, then this contract becomes binding. Fuck yeah, I'll do that. I am not ditching $1 million client to get a $7 million client. The chance to get a $7 million client. You know, I've actually faced this situation a couple times in filmmaking where it's like, you know, you have an investor. He's a steady investor. But he's only ever going to come in at $20,000. He's never going to do more than $20,000. And I had a $100,000 investor who was talking about, look, I just can't work with this model. I can't be on the same project as him. Get rid of him, and you and I can have a serious conversation about me putting in $100,000 on your project. And I couldn't do it, man, because it was a chance. If it was a guarantee, and see, the investing thing is even, these are handshake deals. Like, you write out a contract, but at the end of the day, these are handshake deals. If they want to pull their money, they're going to pull their money. They'll find a reason. So like you're not protected there. All you have is your word and your reputation. And so I was never going to get a reputation for just ditching somebody, especially because clearly they didn't like each other, so that was going to make it personal. It'd be one thing. It's like, look, I can't take your money on this project, and I can't even imagine saying that to an investor because that's never happened. But like, say I did it, that'd be one thing. But it'd be another if I'm saying that because I'm bringing in somebody you fucking hate. There's just no way, man. Now, these are personal. These are human beings. These aren't corporations. Corporations, the people in charge can change. The people you're talking to can change. They're just entities, right? But the principle is the same. You can't do it, man. You can't do that. And worse, you can't get a reputation for doing that. Like, hey, man, why would we sign with this motherfucker? They'll just ditch us if they get somebody bigger. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.